That is like the best intro. That is the best intro. Mic check. Let's check the mics. Before I get to rambling. How am I sounding? Is the audio coming in good? Audio coming in good. Thumbs up. There we go. All right, you guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the Real Nathan Daly, and I'm here with another live stream. For those who joined us last night, we had a very great conversation breaking down that interview with Charleston White and Cam Newton. There was a lot to be said. We had a good time. Thank you for those who showed up. To my moderators, I appreciate you guys. Tonight, we're going to have a different conversation, and we're going to be talking about police brutality, police policies and procedures and actions and so forth and so on. You guys, that's my niche. That's my specialty. Overall, this channel has evolved, as you guys know it. We went from really focusing on police, breaking down body cam videos and doing reactions to them, educating people on police policies and procedures, to then evolving into really talking about social issues. Because one thing that I've noticed about this channel and topics relating to a lot of these issues is it always goes back to race, goes back to politics, goes back to social issues. And, a lot of people started asking my opinion on a lot of different issues outside of policing. And then also me personally have my own personal take on a lot of topics outside of policing. And, decided to kind of share a little bit of wisdom. I have a lot to share. And also, I think you guys appreciate the perspective that I bring. And I always try to bring something unique and something different to the table. So, one, I appreciate all of you. This is not possible without your support. So thank you. We have come a long way. This is our second year on YouTube, and I feel very proud of the growth that we've had, and even the people who support the channel, those who dislike the police, or sometimes disagree. You guys know this is a channel where we don't believe in censorship. As long as you're respectful and we're having good dialogue and discussion, it's welcome here. As you guys know, the rules on this channel, if you want to come up and speak, you already know you got to cam up, right? You got to put your face where your mouth is. And that's just to keep everybody on their ones and twos. And so last night we had some great guests that came up. We had a great time. And I see as the chat starts to, as people start coming in, please hit the like button. We all know how important that is. And you see the thumbnail. This incident, I won't say it happened December 2nd, but the video was just released not too long ago, I think maybe today. And it's going, I guess you say it's getting a lot of attention. We know police abuse of power is nothing new in this country, especially as it relates to the racial dynamic. We're going to talk about that. We're going to cover all that. And then I'm going to give you guys solutions to these problems, because essentially that's what this channel initially was all about, giving solutions to these issues that we have with the criminal justice system, specifically policing. And, a lot of people don't like my solutions. Some people like them. A lot of people don't. Those who understand the problem, you understand human nature, then you have to be mindful, right? We don't live in a fairy tale world. We got to be realistic. Last night we had a conversation about race and racism and white supremacy. And, like anything else, people have a hard time defining that. They have a hard time being able to point it out. It's easy to label people all kind of things because you don't agree with them or you don't want to hear what they have to say. But that's not how we do it over here. If you have a disagreement, if you have a valid point you want to make, be able to articulate your point. Don't ask questions with questions. So stand on your views and be prepared to defend them over here. So a little admin talk before we get started. For those who are familiar, if not, if you're new to the channel, please, by all means, check me out on these other platforms. Instagram, of course. I'm always sending reminders on Instagram, because I think YouTube is not really pushing out my content. I'm not talking about the stuff they want me to talk about. Facebook, X, or Twitter, aka formerly known as Twitter. And of course, those if you see generous, if you see it in your heart to donate, you always welcome. I'm so blessed and appreciative for those who do. I thank you so much, you guys. Please check me out on those other platforms as well. So tonight is going to be an interesting night, you guys. And I'm definitely going to bring people up to have the conversation as well, because I think it's important. I'm going to play a clip of this video, and it's graphic, not graphic. There's no blood or anything like that. But what you do see is an officer using force that's not necessary. And the whole point of this is it justified, right? Is it justified? And I think a lot of times we see things and we don't really know, right? We see the actions of an officer, and a lot of times we don't know. Sometimes things look bad or they look awful, but in fact, they are lawful, right? And I think a lot of times people don't realize because they don't understand either the law, they don't understand police policy and procedure, and things can look really bad. It doesn't look good when you're putting somebody in handcuffs. It doesn't look good when you have to force somebody to comply. And there's sometimes you got to fight people into the handcuffs. And it's unfortunate. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look pretty, you guys. And so now we're in a world, we're in an age where technology is capturing the good, the bad, and the ugly of police work, and the good, the bad, and the ugly of human behavior. So we're seeing it on both sides. And people are challenging and asking the police to do better, to be better at their job as they're supposed to be professionals, and not just professionals, but to be fair and treat everybody with equitable treatment, right? Across the board. What's happening is you see it, but you don't see enough of it. What happens is the media does put out all the bad, right? We don't ever see the good, we see all the bad, and that's okay. So we see the bad. The issue isn't just that you see the bad in policing. The problem with policing is people are concerned about the follow through, right? So, okay, we caught this person doing bad. We caught this person being corrupt, planting evidence, abusing power, using excessive force, lying, right? Making false reports, things of that nature, or being racist, right? So, or finding out that they're part of the KKK, right? Whatever extreme from small to large. The issue isn't that people are being humans. The issue is that the police, when they are in violation, are not being held accountable to the degree that the citizenry believe they should be held accountable. And I agree with that. I agree with that. What I tell people all the time is that police departments and police officers are not created equal, right? So every department is different. Just like every state you go to is a different place, right? Every country you go to is a different place, different rules, different culture. They handle things differently. Imagine that. Police departments, you guys, are the exact same way. Some of the worst and even most dangerous police departments are the ones in the rural areas where they're away and secluded from eyes and the attention of people who can hold them accountable. You guys, that's always a recipe for disaster. Some of the most complex and dangerous police departments are departments that are way too big. They're way too big. It's hard to hold each individual officer accountable. The branches on a tree that extend way too far, it's hard to hold them accountable. Your departments like LAPD or Chicago, New York is a good example. Some of these departments are so large, they have so many compartments and so many different groups and subgroups that over time, if they're not being watched and managed properly, they fall off onto the deep end. What's the reality, you guys? As you guys are rolling in, what is the reality with policing? There's 18,000, I think approximately 18,000 police departments in this country. 18,000. The biggest problem with law enforcement is that it's not uniformed. Believe it or not, we all think, you would want to assume that policing is a uniformed type of profession, and it's absolutely not, right? So I can go to a police department here and work and then leave and go somewhere else, and the policies and procedures, the way they hold each other accountable, the stuff they allow or not allow, is completely different, right? I worked for 3 different police departments within my 13 years, and each one of them were ran differently. I worked for the city, county, and the state, and each of them completely different. And not only that, you have different levels of supervision. What about actual police officers? if I'm not mistaken, and my numbers serve me right, I believe there's about approximately 700,000 police officers that police in this country. 700,000. I remember doing an interview with this gentleman. I posted on the community tab. Great interview, and it shook a lot of people up with some of the conversations that we had. But the interview was great. What's the name now? I can't remember the name of his channel real quick. Want to make sure I shout that brother out. He has an amazing channel. What is it? As you know, TV. Matter of fact, let me just look at my community tab because I'm about to get it wrong. But I want to shout him out because we had such a great. I never knew TV. I never knew TV. Got a chance to get. I was interviewed over on his channel. We're talking about policing. We're talking about issues within the Black community, and we just had a very robust conversation. And we talked about a lot of stuff. And these are the things that we talked about: quality police officers. Why don't we have enough of them? Right? Where are all the quality officers at? You guys, the standards to be an officer are extremely low in a lot of places. Extremely low. The job is not fun. It's not enticing. Nobody wants to do it, And so, if you don't have the right formula in place, you're not going to attract people to want to do the job. And on top of that, then you have society and the media that's also throwing fuel to this fire. Because there is such a demand and they're having a hard time filling these positions, you guys, they're allowing anybody and everybody into this role. Policing, finding someone to do this job, this should be the most scrutinized position, one of the most scrutinized positions that you can actually get into. All right. And why do I say that? It's because the power. There's so much power in this profession. And like I said before, we're looking at over approximately 700,000 people who are in law enforcement. And these officers actually patrol a nation of what, 350 million people? Is that how big the population is? You guys, it's nothing, So policing as a profession has a lot of work to do. A lot of work, meaning the standards need to be consistent, need to be uniform. The training needs to be way better than what it is. And then the accountability always has to match the amount of power that you give a particular person to do a job. The accountability always has to match. And what we see here, unfortunately, in this country, is we have a lot of people in this country that simp for police officers, right? A lot of the citizens simp for police officers. And usually the language starts off with, it's a hard job, it's a dangerous job, nobody wants to do it, people don't listen anymore, these are criminals, why should we feel sorry for them, and things of that nature. I've heard it all. At the same time, what I don't hear are people putting the expectations of high standards on said officers. We already know it's a dangerous job. We know it's a hard job. The problem is you have people who do this profession who aren't putting the work in needed to be quality officers. We have people who have anger issues. They have ego problems. They have God complexes. They're narcissists. You have people who are flat out corrupt in nature, right? There are bad elements in this profession. And that's not to say there's not good. There's a lot of good. We're not saying that. What I'm saying is, how do you get the bad out? How do you identify the bad? And then how do you remove it? You guys, that is where the conversation needs to go. You'll never make a perfect profession. Nowhere in this world you'll ever have people who are doing their job perfectly, because at the end of the day, we're all human and we're susceptible to making mistakes, being corrupt, being influenced. What else? I think policing has just become the profession that has been politicized and has been weaponized by politicians and by activists in order to in order to push their agenda. And so I came into this space to bring clarity, to bring context, to have mature dialogue, and then also to unveil a lot of the BS that's being pushed through the media. Now, granted, I can easily say, hey, this person is right, this person's wrong. I can easily say and look at it and be unbiased and have an unbiased approach. And you guys, sometimes the police are wrong. Sometimes they're wrong, and then sometimes the citizens are wrong. And sometimes they're both wrong. You guys, there's plenty of cases, majority of cases where both sides have been wrong. As citizens, especially as Black citizens in this country, one thing that I've noticed is that there is an interesting dynamic between Black people and the police. As we all know, aware of the history of this country, we understand where this frustration comes from. So when we watch a video like we're going to watch tonight, it's a very short clip, but there's a lot going on in this clip. As we watch this clip, the immediate reaction is always going to be racial. Why? Because the officer is white and the citizen is Black. So people automatically going to say, hey, this is racist. What this officer did is a female officer. What she did to this citizen is racially motivated. My job as someone who's done the job is to really analyze it based off of what we see, the evidence, and what we do know, and really bring context, really bring a more a broader perspective, so that we're not looking at incidents through our emotions, but we're looking at them logically. And I had a caller last night talking about race and racism. How do you define it? How do you determine if someone's a racist? Simply because you don't like what they did and we are not the same ethnicity. Well, that's not enough, you guys. Unfortunately, you need evidence to support a claim like that, right? You just can't say a person's racist. Um, I always tell people that there's a difference between, I thought the video was fake too, to be honest. When you guys see this video, it's crazy. The video is crazy. But I'm not shocked. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked because I've used this type of language before with people. All right. So I understand. I think this is why it's important to talk to people who do the job, because they bring context to it. I say it all the time. There are racist people. That'll never change. All right. That'll never change. You'll always have a racist person in some job, you guys, in some profession, no matter where you go. Racism is everywhere. It'll never go away. And even if somehow you manage to get rid of racism, you're going to have classism right behind it, tribalism right behind it, colorism. There's always going to be some ism that's going to make you feel like you're not being treated fairly, or that someone's being prejudiced towards you. In this case, we have a video of an incident, and the context, we don't have all the context of it, but we have enough to know that the officer was absolutely in the wrong, right? We have enough, even though we don't know all the story, the piece that we do know, what we do see, the officer's dead wrong. Dead wrong. So we're going to talk about that. We'll examine what we see. We'll break it down. I'll give you my thoughts. What the punishment should look like. Was this justified? Is it possible this could be justified anyways? I don't know. Absolutely not. Right? Absolutely not. What I want to touch on before I play the video. Yes, white officers. You guys, there are a lot of white police officers. All right. There's a lot of white police officers. And for a multitude of reasons. One, because white people are the majority in this country. So they're going to be the predominant working class and majority of all professions, you guys. That's not going away. Racism is something that exists that'll never go away. You're going to have racist people in every single facet of professions in this country. There's no way around that. The issue the issue isn't that people are racist. The issue is, how do you get rid of them if they are in a profession? How do you identify them? How do you get rid of them? That's the real question. That's the real thing that people need to be focusing on, not the fact that they're there, right? People always like to complain to me about these issues and say, well, there's racists in policing. I'm like, there's racist people everywhere, right? With white people, white officers, it's a very unique thing that goes on with white officers. And I'm going to tell you what it is. Obviously, I've worked with a lot of them. All right. I can tell you stories for days. One thing I have known, because I wanted to analyze and understand this for myself, is that every white officer is not a racist, you guys. But you do have white police officers that are racially insensitive. Okay. That's what I'm saying. You'll have officers that are racially insensitive. What does that mean? It means they don't give a damn about your historical context, who you are, where you came from, what language you speak, your religious beliefs. They're very culturally insensitive. Um, and again, that's not excluding white people, but the reason why I say that is because when someone witnesses them being very insensitive, very rude towards their personal feelings, towards the dynamics of policing, or whatever it might be, the individual thinks that they're racist because of it. For example, I'll never forget, I heard an officer tell an individual that, what the hell does 400 years have to do with this? What the hell does slavery have to do with this? Right? Now, he was right, right? And the context of what was going on, he was absolutely correct. But obviously, that's very unprofessional to say to someone who has an issue, right? Um, there is there is an issue with respecting diversity, respecting the cultural differences, respecting historical pain. That's a real thing that needs to be respected. What happens is, you have some people who don't respect it. And unfortunately, that creates a lot of tension. That creates a lot of problems in this profession. So, and then you have racists, right? But like I tell people all the time, that it's not just racist people that you need to be worried about. You have criminals that are in this profession. You have pedophiles that are in this profession. You have people who were hired by gang members that are in this profession. And I always tell black people, one of the best things that you can do is put yourself in this position to help clean it up, right? Put yourself in a position to help be a representative for your community. Someone has to do the job. And if you don't do the job is going to get filled, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with the person filling the job or not. And again, at the end of the day, it is a position of power. Show people how it's supposed to be done properly. You have black people in this profession that are just as bad as someone that you might think would be white. Again, because again, this supersedes skin color. You guys, this problem in policing in this country is an American problem, right? It's an American problem. It supersedes color. This is a problem about power, and how power corrupts, and how absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's what this whole thing is about. Um, a lot of people get fixated on skin color, and they don't pay attention to human behavior, human nature. And if you understand the psychosis of a person that is being given power, power that is not properly managed, and you see what it does to a person in any profession, you guys, then you'll understand the situation differently. Um, Without proper oversight, with anybody with power, is always going to be a problem. And we see that true today in all forms of our government, right? Lack of oversight, from the citizens. And the people who should be in charge of the police are the people who are actually being the receivers of that force or that power, which are the people. The people need to be in charge of the police and be able to hold them accountable. That's where the power should stop. So, with that being said, let's run the video. And with that being said, I'm going to say graphic warning, right? Just for obvious reasons. There's some screaming and some yelling, and we're going to see this crazy video. Now, before I get into the video, let me give you the backstory. Okay, what the part the video doesn't show. This is what happened December 2nd. Okay, December 2nd. According to one of the witnesses at the scene, I believe it was boyfriend, girlfriend, and a friend or two friends, maybe. It might be four people. I don't know all the details. But apparently they're driving a vehicle in Alabama. Okay. I don't know if they're coming from somewhere else. We don't know all the details. Driving through Alabama, they get a flat tire. So apparently a man or maybe two men get out to try to change the tire. As they're changing the tire, the police officer pulls up. All right. And the officer's name is, what's her name? Dana Elmore. Okay. She's with the Reform, believe it or not, what an irony in this name, the Reform Police Department. Okay. Let me pull up a picture. I'm gonna give you the backstory. Then we'll go ahead and we'll play the videos. I want you to see all the characters and understand what's going on. And then we'll go through the video. The video is short. So let me share the screen. All right. Okay. Lord have mercy. Oof. This woman here got a face only a mother can love. Okay. This is Dana Elmore. She is with the Reform Police Department out in Alabama. Okay. That's another thing we got to talk about. We got to talk about these rural police departments and sheriff's departments out in these old sundown towns in this country. We got to talk about them because a lot of them are still operating like it's damn 1619. Someone says she looks like Beetlejuice. No, you know who she looks like, really? You know y'all not gonna guess. What's the name of that movie? With the clown. You know that movie with the clown? That she looked just like it, bro. She looks just like it. Not even trying to be funny. Don't she look like it? Someone said the Addams Family. Yikes. Morticia. Trace said she looked like Morticia. So this is, yeah, she looked like it. She looked like it. I'm about to pull it for Tales of the Crypt. Jeepers keep creepers on this one. Lord have mercy. Listen, this lady here, Officer Elmore, and someone says a man. Lord, no, ain't no telling, right? Ain't no telling, but Nosferatu. Y'all are stupid. Not Nosferatu. Lord mercy. Roger from American Dad. Yeah. Someone pull up Roger from American Dad. Oh my. Y'all, we supposed to be watching this video. Why are we clowning this woman? Hold on. Roger from American Dad. Yikes. Oh my God, y'all are wrong. Y'all are wrong. Hold up. Y'all are wrong for that. Oh, yikes. Y'all ain't got no damn sense. Not Roger from American Dad. Is that who y'all talking about? Yeesh. Oh my God. Yeah, she looks rough. She looks rough. She looks rough. So Elmore, according to the media the news article I was reading, she pulled up And I don't know what her reasoning was. They were actually changing a tire, according to the witness. And the witness is the girlfriend of the victim. Okay. She's saying they were changing a tire, and the officer approached them. This lady approached them in reference to suspicious activity. Now, I don't know how clear that is. The police department hasn't released any official statement, but this is what they're saying from the witness, what the witness is saying, that she stopped them for suspicious activity. I don't know what's suspicious about changing a tire on the side of the road. Nonetheless, okay, nonetheless, that is how this interaction happened. This wasn't a traffic stop. This wasn't a 911 call. It wasn't any of that. This was simply a situation where she saw something, she felt it was suspicious, and she decided to get out and speak to them. Right now, the question is, how did we go from doing a traffic stop? Well, correction, looking at someone changing a tire to them now having a taser in their back and then being tased. When you guys watch this video, you're going to be disgusted. You're going to be disgusted. Not only that, this video is dehumanizing. It's disrespectful. It's unprofessional. And you see this, it's like a sense of wickedness coming off of this officer on how she is talking to, treating, and the unnecessary actions and the words that are being used. So we're going to get into it. So this is what ended up happening. This is the victim. Now, during her investigation, she finds narcotics. Okay. I don't know how or what. We don't know. We don't know the details to that extent. But ultimately, he ends up getting charged with trafficking. Okay, trafficking. So the question is, how did we get here? All right, how do we get here? So let's go through the article real quick, and then I'm gonna play the video. So let me see a couple things I want to touch on just before we get started. Oh, and he was in possession of a firearm. Okay, he had a gun in his pocket. That's another thing. He had a gun in his pocket during the after he was arrested. It looked like from the video that we see that he was cooperating. He had a gun in his pocket. She was able to get the gun from him. Apparently, he is a convicted felon, so he's not supposed to have a firearm. All right. But even with all that being said, and that's her right here. So it's a Beetlejuice, right? So that's her right here. Let me see if we can get the rest of the article. What happened? Hold on. Something froze on me. I swear, these computers. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix this. Always something when I act up. Always. Page unresponsive. Okay. All right. I guess we'll wait. So basically, he had a gun on him. And through the end of her investigation, she ends up finding some drugs. And I got to go and find out what the list of drugs are because now the article is not coming up. Let me see. Jeez, always some. All right, let me see. Okay. Let's see. Let me see what drugs I'll find out. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let me pull this back up. There we go. Okay. Okay, so because during that altercation, he was charged with obstruction, governmental operation, resisting arrest, marijuana possession, drug trafficking, and being an ex-felon in possession of a firearm. Okay, his bond, wow, 500, basically $500,000. His bond is $500,000. So again, we don't know why or how her investigation led to this. The only thing I can think of is maybe she smelled the marijuana, but he's being charged with drug trafficking. Okay, that's a big, big, big charge. And we're going to look at the charge as well and go over the actual charge so you guys can understand what is the charge for Alabama. Um, what does that actually mean, and what are the elements needed to be charged with trafficking? So that's a big, big charge. And I wonder, and trafficking is decided based on the amount of drugs that you have and the fact that you are actually going from state to state, right? Like you're like, okay, I'm in Georgia and I'm trying to bring drugs from Florida to Georgia. So then I get pulled over in transit with that. And I have a large amount, like a kilo or something, or a couple pounds. And then you could be charged. Then you could be charged with trafficking. All right. So I wonder how much drugs he had on him. So that's the thing. They're not sharing that information. They're not sharing that information at all. So we don't know. Let me delete this because the thing is slowing down. All right, how are we looking? All right, so let's go ahead and play the video. Warning: I'll say graphic video. It's no bleeding, but it is hard to watch for some people. So just FYI before I play it. And it's not a long video, but let's go ahead and add it back to the.
Stand up. Right there in front of the car. Straight.
I ain't doing shit, bro. I got gun right there. I'm not doing that.
Oh yeah.
I'm saying, what you saying? Oh yeah, fuck. I'm not. Oh my god.
Fuck up.
Okay. Oh, down. Oh my fuck. Oh my god. Oh my god.
You want it again?
No, man.
Shut the fuck up. You was big and bad. Shut your bitch ass up.
Wow. Okay. She said you big and bad. Shut your bitch ass up. You guys, that is. I agree with you, Millennial. I thought this was a skit. When I heard this and I was watching it, because again, social media now, you guys, everybody's playing these they're making these little fake videos to get clout, to try to, get their viewers up. And I watched this video and I was like, oh, this somebody doing a little prank video again. And I found out, I did a little research, found out it was real. And it was very disturbing. This was very, very disturbing to watch for a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons. You're gonna have a hard time making an argument to anybody that this wasn't racist, right? That this wasn't racially motivated. I wouldn't even come here and try to make that argument at all. What did we see in this video? Watching this and going back, I'm like, man, this, outside of the ego, outside of her God complex, to me, I saw a woman trying to dominate a man, right? I saw a woman wanting to dominate a man. I'm watching it and I see a broken woman, like on some, I had some issues at childhood type of woman, right? This is what I'm seeing play out. I'm seeing a broken woman who is her actions are a reflection of her insecurities. Her actions are a reflection of her her dislike, her issues with men. I don't know. I see a lot in this. A lot. It's so disturbing. You almost look at it like this is some sort of dominatrix thing, right? That this is a woman trying to buck break a man. You know, she did everything short of pulling out a toy, right? Like she was in her mind sodomizing him, right? That's what I see when I see this. I'm seeing a woman wishing she can sodomize him. She's emotionally trying to sodomize him. That's what I see. Shut your bitch ass up. Like who? What? Like who says that? Yeah, like she's getting off on this. Like this is like, ma'am, this is not your bedroom. You know, like that's the vibe that I got. That this she forgot that she's not at home. This isn't your private club, right? Where you're dressed up in your black gear and your whips and your chains, and you get to dominate over men, stepping on their penises and shit, right? That's what I got from this. She forgot where she was at. Ma'am, this is not one of your little cuck husbands, right? Like this is not one of those, this ain't Adam 22. Right? This was so disturbing, you guys, to watch. So disturbing to watch. And it was, you know, as men, you know, we talk like this to other men on the street, which is like, man, shut your ass up. Right? Like we'll say things like that to like as officers, stuff, man, shut your ass, you know. This right here, the way she said it, you guys, I'm not gonna lie, it's like this emotional conviction, right? Like there was this it was like this visceral passion. Like it was I don't know how to describe it, but she really meant it. Like she was really into it. Like this motherfucker was role playing. And look how she's grabbing his head. He's not doing the thing about this. He's not doing anything. Right? Like I think the whole premise of this is he's not doing anything. He's already in handcuffs. You can't do that. Right? Like she was really getting off on this. Yo, this is sick. It's sick, you know. And I see a sick woman mentally sodomizing a man. Some call it butt breaking. The way the language and the conviction behind the language, you guys, she's sick. She's sick. And to me, it's so obvious. It's so obvious. You're talking about not resisting. You know, I would love to hear a psychologist break this video down. Everything from her body language, the choice of words, the tone. Yes, the tone that she used, the tone, the passion behind the tone, the aggression, the way she's holding his head down, pressing his head down. She gives him a little jolt. He's not even moving. Yeah, yeah, pop, 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 pop. Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, get bend over. Yeah, you guys, she went into character. Look at what she said.
Stay still.
Look at that. Stay still. Could you stay still? That's prison talk. That's prison talk. You talk to these guys in prison, how they sodomizing these guys. You guys, if you never interview, I've talked to these guys. They'll tell you how it's, but bend over, stay still. Don't even look. Don't look at me. Yeah, hold it up. Hold them up. Right? That's how they talk. Look at how she's talking. Stay still, nigga, stay still. You can take this. And you sitting back, can you please put some lube on? Shut up. Shut your mouth. That's how she talking. That's how she talking. This shit remind me of what was that? Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction. You guys, listen, this right here. This is disturbing. This is disturbing. And I wouldn't be surprised if we found out that, or let me not say that. I've seen situations like this, women treat men like this, or they come off this way. I've seen cases where women have been sexually abused by men. And that's where that masculine aggression to want to dehumanize men as a way of trying to get back for what was done to them. Because again, we're speculating, but the video is the best evidence. Stand still. Like, wow.
I ain't doing shit, bro. I got gun right there. I'm not doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Oh yeah, daddy. Oh yeah, big daddy. We found it. Oh, we got a good one. Oh, it's tight. Oh yeah. Look at it. She's excited. She's getting her rocks off on this. Oh yeah. Listen, she's out there by herself. And apparently there were other people out there. I don't see no backup. She's not waiting for anything. She's very confident, right? Very confident. I don't even know if she has a body cam. I don't think she has a body cam. I wouldn't be surprised if she initiated this whole thing with her gun out. Because remember, when this video started, he's already laying on the ground handcuffed, right? When this video starts, he's already in handcuffs, you guys. So this whole thing is done. And guess what? She waits till he gets over to the car before she gets the gun out. I believe he already told her that he had a gun in his pocket. He's been cooperating the entire time. So she knew he had a gun. He's cooperating. He laid down his hands behind his back. Honestly, if he wanted to fight her, she wouldn't stand a chance, right? Like, let's just be real. He's a big guy. He's like over 6 feet tall. I think he's 24 years old. And his name is Michael. What is his name? Last name Washington. Micah Washington. All right, I believe he's 24 years old, if I'm not mistaken. So he's cooperating. Now, who's recording? Someone's asking. His girlfriend. His girlfriend's recording. And again, here you have him. He's cooperated. No fighting, no resisting. Up to what we can see from when this video is being recorded. We don't see it. I'm pretty sure he was probably talking trash. Everybody talks trash. Again, that's not against the law. All right.
Stand up.
Look how she's holding him.
Right there on the front of the car. Stay still.
I ain't doing shit, bro. I got gun right there. I'm not doing that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying, what you saying? Oh, yeah, for? I'm not. Oh, my God.
Fuck up.
Okay.
Look at that. Look at that. Could you imagine? No resisting, no assaulting. He lifts his head up to be like, okay, Dan, okay, you found a gun. All right, what's the big deal? Chill out. And she, right? Power trip. Someone said, is this real? Yeah, it's real. It's real. I thought this was a skit. This is so crazy. I thought this was a skit. I didn't think it was real. And she tased him for no reason at all. Why did she tase him? He lifted his back slightly, his chest slightly off the hood of the car, addressing her about the gun. And look, first of all, her excitement. Ooh, I'm telling you right now, you're not gonna be able to convince anybody that this wasn't racially motivated, that her actions weren't racially motivated. You're just not. You're not. Look at her. She's acting like she caught a slave that ran away without his papers. Listen, don't shoot the messenger. I'm telling you what it looks like. Oh, look at what we got here, Susie Ann. We look like we got us a nigga that ran away. Who don't got his papers. Look at what she says.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying, what you saying? Oh, yeah, fuck. I'm not. Oh, my God.
Fuck up.
Okay. Oh, down. Oh, my fuck. Oh, my God.
Wow. And the language that she uses, shut the fuck up. And he's like, my bad. I'm sorry, my bad. Like this is this is equivalent to torture, right? One could argue, you can make the argument that she's torturing him. Say another word, I'm gonna tase you again. Say something else. Say something else, and I'm gonna give you this taser. You guys, I think she's getting off on this.
Oh, my God.
You want it again?
You want it again? Could you imagine? She's holding his head down. You want it again? I'll slide in deeper. That's what she's saying. You guys, you can't make this up. You can't make this up. You want it again. Man, what did I do? What did I do? Head down and the taser in my back. You wanted it? You want it again? No, man, please. Oof. My God. Look at this.
No, man. Shut the fuck up. You was big and bad. Shut your bitch.
No, man.
You want it again?
No, man.
Shut the fuck up. You was big and bad. Shut your bitch ass up.
Wow. Oh. You want it again. You was big and bad. Shut your bitch ass up. Oof. Man, let me take a little sip. Hold on. So I don't know. I thought this was a prank. Shout out to Munio. What'd he say? Listen, I need to know where in Alabama this was. Let me drive through there. Please tase me. I'm trying to retire again. Okay. I'm trying to retire again. He about to get paid. You guys, he's about to get paid. You know how people get paid because of the stupidity of police officers? He's going to get paid, you guys. It doesn't. Someone asked, well, what happened? We need to know what happened in the beginning. You don't need to know a damn thing that happened in the beginning. You don't even need to know what happened yesterday or tomorrow. It don't matter. What you see right there, you cannot do. It doesn't matter what happened in the beginning. It doesn't matter what happened in the beginning, you guys. You can't do that. You can't do that. We don't even know if this stop is even legitimate. We don't even know if she had probable cause to even pull him away from the car in general. We don't know. We know suspicious activity you're not going to be able to articulate with him changing a car tire. How do you go from changing a car tire to putting him in handcuffs? You have no probable cause to investigate anything. Now, the only thing I can think of is the odor of marijuana. If, in fact, they did, according to this news article, that they got marijuana out of the car. If she pulled up, maybe he was going to go in the system with the change in the tire and she smells a strong odor of marijuana. You guys, that gives her probable cause to investigate. Okay. Say she finds the marijuana in plain view, that gives her probable cause to investigate. And through that investigation, she handcuffs him. He cooperates. She finds out he has a gun. And guess what? She searches the car. She finds other drugs, right? They got him for drug trafficking. Meaning he had to have been carrying a whole lot of marijuana. I got to go check the code section though, right? I don't know what else is in there. But that's the only way that can evolve into an actual legitimate a legitimate stop and a legitimate arrest. Now, even if it's legitimate, it still doesn't mean that you can use excessive force. You could have a legitimate reason to be there, have a legitimate reason to do your job, investigate everything properly. Then you put the handcuffs on them, and then you start using excessive force. You've just diminished everything that you did in the beginning. This is how officers can be starting off right and end wrong. And from what we see, the moment the handcuffs are on, he's not even resisting arrest. At best, you guys, what probably happened, he was probably talking shit. More than likely, he was talking shit. And she got in her feelings. And what you see after that is her now trying to enforce the law through her emotions, through her ego. Through her ego. But he never, from what we see, he never assaulted her. For her to use that level of force, which was unnecessary, unreasonable lawsuit. They charged him with drug trafficking, obstruction of government operations, resisting arrest, marijuana possession, and being a felon in possession of a firearm. His bond is $500,000. Jesus Christ, you guys. That's a violation of my constitutional rights right there. Excessive bond. Excessive. I know murderers whose bond amount ain't that high. I know rapists and killers whose bond amount is not. I know people who shot and killed cops whose bond wasn't that high. See, and this is the stuff people have an issue with. And I'm right there with them, you guys. I'm right there with y'all on it. These are the things that have to stop. The question is, how do you stop it? Right? The question is, how do you stop it? That is the $1 million question. The criminal justice system, in every inch, in every area of the criminal justice system, there is an areas that need to be fixed. There's corruption that happens on each level of the criminal justice system. You hear about it. And this is one of them. I'm working a case right now out in Florida, you guys. Wait till you hear about that. Wait till you hear about that case. And it's always these small, remote towns and areas where the police and the DA's office, the judges, they get away with murder. They get away with abusing authority, you guys. Ridiculous. Let me tell you something. I'd be sitting, if that was our brother right there, Micah, listen, Micah, tell your attorney to call me. You know, they've been hiring me lately for these type of crazy ass cases. Hire me, please. Okay, please. I am a law enforcement expert, mitigation expert. Hire me on your team, and I'll make sure this thing is dealt with properly. You know, I would love to have a job where, you guys know I do consulting. I would love to have a job where I can go to police departments and clean up their damn mess, and then also fortify to ensure that the citizens are getting what they're supposed to be getting. Right? So here we have a white officer, right? Automatically, we know this is going to be considered a racist incident. Okay, cool. Fine. It is what it is. She did way too much. Bless her heart. She needs to go to prison. I'm talking about, what am I complaining on? I'm complaining on I'm traumatized. I'm suffering from post-traumatic stress now, all of a sudden, from this encounter. Every time I see a cop, I start shaking and shivering, and I can't. What else am I complaining? I need my money. I need my money. And I need to guarantee that she'll never be able to work in law enforcement ever again. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, wow. This is who this woman looks like. You know what it is? People saying, okay, he was crying. He was crying. You know why he was crying? Because he was crying because though she looks like the woman on the right, I'm gonna tell you, this is who the brother saw. That's who he saw. The one on the left. The one on the left is who he saw. The right showed up, but this is the one on the left is how she was acting. I'd have cried too. As a kid, I grew up watching this crazy ass movie. I don't know. I had nightmares for days. Nightmare for days. This is who she looks like. Someone said Nefertaris. What? Hold on, Millennial. What'd you call her? That. Woo, you guys. Let me drop the link. I'm gonna drop the link because I want to get some thoughts in here. I want to get some thoughts. I want to get you guys' thoughts on this crazy. What do you think? What is for the moderators? That video was very difficult to watch. I mean, it's very sad, very disturbing, but nonetheless, Nosferatu. Yeah, Nosferatu. Yeah, he was changing a tire. You know, so you guys, so what does that mean though? Is it possible? Let me pull up this law though. Don't she look like it? She looked like it. And that's the energy. Could you imagine someone showed up like that, looking like that, telling you to bend over and God, dog. Let me let's look at the law. What does the law say about trafficking? Yes, another officer making us look bad. That's exactly the truth. You know, but what happens though, to be honest, we as individuals need to start judging people as individuals instead of judging them for the profession, right? There's a lot of amazing police officers out here, you guys, who give 110% every day. And then you have this one officer like this dingbat, this poltergeist who decides she wants to. And there's one, it's like there's one in every department, you guys. I knew about two at the cab. I knew about two. Couldn't stand them. Nobody liked them. Nobody liked them, you know. And he was an asshole. And you can't get rid of those type of officers either because they don't break policy, they don't break the law. They're just rude and they're very unprofessional, you know. And they get written up from time to time, but there's nothing you can do with them, man. To be honest, let me see. Shout out to you. Oh shoot, Perry Unlikely, my man. Yeah. Yeah, shout out to you, brother. Long time no see. Good man right there. Perry says, salute. If I'm correct, Reform, Alabama is in, Pickens County, about 30 minutes from Tuscaloosa, University of Alabama. Yes, it is in Pickens County because I was looking up who the leadership is out there. So the police chief is actually white. All right. But check this out, you guys. Check this out because you know your boy be curious. The police chief is white, but the mayor's black. Shout out to you, Braves Club. I see you about to head out. The mayor's black. So you know, we're gonna have this argument. We want to hope that the leadership will do their job. But unfortunately, Melanie Davis, who is the mayor of Reform, Alabama, I don't know how big Perry can tell us. Perry, he's out that way. I'm assuming Reform, Alabama is a very small county. But nonetheless, here's the mayor. Okay. And thank you again, Perry. I appreciate you. Let me see. She ended up putting out a letter the other day. I'll go through her page real quick. Yeah, this is a good question. Shout out to you. Common sense expert says, did she take the cartridge out to dry stun? So this is a good question. You guys, the way a taser works, okay? Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull a picture of a taser up. Let me see. This is it won't let me get in because it's Facebook. But this is the letter. Let me show you guys a taser so we can break this down. I don't know what taser X should be, X26. Give you guys a good look at. All right. So let's take a look at some tasers real quick. I think this is a good question. So common sense expert, he's talking about the tasers and how it works. You guys, the way the taser works is you have the option of being able to pull the trigger, and two prongs come out, and the prongs attach into the skin, and it sends a current of, I think, 50,000, volts of electricity, if I'm not mistaken. And it causes musculatory incapacitation, meaning it's just enough electricity to incapacitate your musculatory system. All right. Now, too much of them it'll touch your heart, touch your soul, okay? And it'll send you up out of here. Too much will send you up out of here, but just enough, all right, just enough will incapacitate you, incapacitate your musculatory system. All right, that's why you lock up like this. So what the common sense expert is saying, he's saying, were the prongs shot, or was it a dry stun? A dry stun is when you actually take the taser and you touch the body with it. And when you touch the body, you can send the current directly to the body. In some cases, depending on what model she was using, some you can't dry stun. You have to tase first, shoot the prongs out, and then you have to dry stun. Or you got to take the cartridge off and then do it. So we didn't see all that. There's a possibility that she may have already tased them already with the prongs, and then she dry stun them, or she took the cartridge off and then she dry stun them, or or there might be a feature where she can toggle that feature off. So it depends on what version she had. And again, it's hard to say because we don't have any other part of the video to see what the other what other things took place in this altercation. We don't know. What we do know, just examining it from what we see, is that regardless, her use of the taser in that moment that we saw is inappropriate, it's excessive, and it was unnecessary. And then the language that was used, absolutely inappropriate. That's what we do know. She could have been right 5 minutes before, but she damn sure was wrong in the minutes that we saw. No, there's no justification for it whatsoever. So that was a great question. Great question. Let me get this in. That's a good one. Shout out to Jermaine. Shout out to you, brother. I haven't seen you in a while. Well, it's my fault, actually. I ain't been on live streams. He said they better not be on that YSL nonsense, turning personal possessions amounts into RICO. Yeah, they are reaching with that case. If they didn't have RICO with the YSL, they wouldn't have a case. They wouldn't have a case. And all this stretching the embellishing evidence, all their trafficking, and you find out that it's really not trafficking. Let me pull up. You made a good point though. People like to embellish these charges in order to make it look like something that it's not. Let's see. For those who don't know what the trafficking charges are, let me just pull this up real quick so y'all can see it. Let's look at what the actual what's required for trafficking in the state of Alabama. Let's pull out the law. I'm gonna pull a TLA on y'all real quick. All right. All right. Let me drop myself down right here. Okay. Trafficking. This is for Alabama. This is Alabama Code 13A-12-231. Trafficking in cannabis, cocaine, etc. All right. So I don't know what all he had. It just said marijuana. I don't know if that is the only drugs that he had, but this is what it is. Okay. Let me make sure I'm reading the right one. Yep. Drug offense, drug trafficking offense. Okay. Yep. Any person knowingly sells, manufactures, delivers, or brings into this state. Okay, that's the key. You got to bring it into this state. All right. We're talking about Alabama, meaning that they had to have known based off their investigation that they are coming from somewhere else with it. Okay. Or you don't have trafficking, or it's just really personal use at that point. Who is knowingly in actual or constructive possession of in excess of a kilo or 22 pounds. Okay. Either a kilo or 2.2 pounds of any part of the plant of the genus cannabis, whether growing or not, seeds thereof, the resin extracted from any part of plant, and every compound manufactured, salt, derivative, mixture, preparation of the plant, its seed, the resin, including completely defoliated, mature stocks of the plant. Okay, that's a whole bunch of breakdown of the jargon. Let me just go through that. Sterilized samples of seeds, blah, 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 blah. And the reason why this is in here, you guys, because people will move plants. All right. People move the plants. So anyways, if all that applies, completely shall be known as trafficking in cannabis. Nothing in this subdivision shall apply. Samples of tetrahydrocannabinols. Tetrahydrocannabinols. All right. Including not limited to synthetic or naturally produced samples. They're talking about like that oil. Anyways, let's go to the subsets. All right, let's go to the subsets. Subset A, okay, in excess of a kilo or 2.2 pounds, but less than 100 pounds, a person shall be sentenced to a mandatory minimum term imprisonment 3 calendar years and pay $25,000. B, 100 pounds or more. C, 500 pounds or more, but less than 1,000 pounds. All right, so this is breaking down how much the sentencing you could be of the max and the minimum you can be sentenced to if you're in possession of this amount. Okay, any person, subsection 2, any person who knowingly sells, manufactures, delivers, or brings into the state knowingly actual constructive possession of 28 grams or more of cocaine. All right, so 28 grams, they're talking about an ounce. It's not even, that's not really a lot. Okay, it's not a lot, but 28 grams of cocaine or mixture containing cocaine described in section this here is guilty of a felony, shall be known for trafficking cocaine. Now, when I go to the actual news article, it doesn't say what the trafficking is. All right, right here, all it says is drug trafficking. Okay, so meanwhile, charged with obstruction of government operation, resisting arrest, marijuana possession, drug trafficking, and being an ex-felon in possession of a firearm. And Jesus Christ, bond set for $500,000. $500,000. So I don't know. Honestly, I don't know, because we don't have enough information. And I haven't seen anything that specified if it's cocaine or if it's marijuana that's being trafficked. So let's go back to the actual the law here. So all this is about cocaine. We don't know. I'm pretty sure he ain't have 10 kilos. We ain't gonna, I know damn sure he have 10 kilos. Subsection 3, any person except otherwise authorized by law enforcement knowingly sells, manufactures, delivers. This one is 4 grams or more morphine, opium, or salt isomer, therefore including heroin. Okay. 4 grams or more mixture. So it's just basically, and then we have, matter of fact, I think he had fentanyl. I think I saw something where he had fentanyl. But you know, we'll see what comes out later on. Containing fentanyl or any synthetic controlled substance, fentanyl analog described. So we don't know. Since we don't know, but basically, shit, I didn't know. Damn, this is all detailed. We're not gonna read all that, you guys. Damn, we're not gonna read all that. But just know, I don't know what drug that they're charging them with that would suggest trafficking. Okay, so I don't know. Let me bring up one of the guests. We got one of the guests in the back. Malik, I see you, brother. I'm gonna bring you up right now and get your thoughts on this. Let me bring it up real quick. What's going on, brother? How you doing? Round 2.
I'm doing fine, brother. How you doing today, man?
Man, I'm good. Good to see you again. Hit the mute on your YouTube.
Well, now.
Yeah, that's better. Okay, it just sends the echo.
Good. You have to please forgive me because we went through this last night. I forgot to unplug my speaker from my phone because I was watching a movie earlier.
Yeah, no worries. What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this particular situation right here?
Well, now, many people may not agree with me.
Mm-hmm.
They may not even understand. But what I can tell you is that one of the reasons Black people are treated the way we're treated in this country by white police officers, and even some Black and Mexicans and Asians and all kinds of police officers.
Right.
Black people are the most hated people on the planet because we are the original people. Everybody wants to be the first people. Everybody wants to be the father and mother of our civilizations. Everyone wants to be a self-created people who created the heavens and the earth and all therein. That just happens to be Black people. No, God created us. We are a self-created people. So you got a lot of envy and jealousy out there. But as far as why we are mistreated currently, it is because, according to the Congressional Library in Washington, they have recorded that in 1555, the first shipload of Black people from Africa came over on a ship named Jesus, owned by Jewish merchants and run by an English slave trader, Sir John Hawkins. Now, between 1863 and 1865, Abraham Lincoln brought the Black enterprising intellectuals to a table to discuss what will happen to Black people after slavery. Abraham Lincoln told us, we want y'all to go to the island of the Pacific or the Caribbean or back to Africa or somewhere, but we don't want you here. Because every day you will remind us of what we did to you. And every day we will remind you of what we did to you. So they are saying, if we stay here, we're going to look at them as according to what they have done to us, and they don't want that. Right. And so what they did was, Abraham Lincoln said, we want y'all to go. But the Black enterprising intellectuals said, no, we have a stake here. We sweat, bled, and died here. We built the country, so we're going to stay. We're not leaving. So Abraham Lincoln said, well, okay, Black people, remember this. If you stay, we are going to suffer from your presence. And you all, Black people, will suffer from being here. So it's been since 1555 to 2023, 468 years. Now, from 1865 to 2023 is 158 years. So 158 years, we have dealt with what Abraham Lincoln told us. You will suffer from being here, and we will suffer from your presence. So here we go. This is why when slavery ended, Black people started what's called the United States Congress. And they started the Night Riders and burned us out of the Congress that we set up. Now they control Congress. See, that we set up. And then we built we built over 60 towns that they destroyed.
They sure
because
did.
They didn't want us to feel comfortable being here. They said leave. So the white police, and like you said earlier, is dealing with politicians as well. They are working in cahoots together to make sure we're not comfortable, to make sure we don't enjoy our sojourn in America after slavery. Redlining.
Do you think, let me ask you this. Do you think this country could survive if Black people all decide to get up and leave?
No.
All right. I didn't know. Me neither. Let me ask you this. What would be, they wouldn't let us go too, though, right? They wouldn't let us go. Right.
See, they were something. Go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know, but I want to see your thoughts on that, because I tell people that all the time. That we're valued. We're so valuable that keeping us down is how essentially we keep the economy up, right? And if Black people were to get up out of the oppressive state, in a sense, someone has to replace us, right? Someone has to be at the bottom. It's like a totem pole, right? Somebody got to be at the bottom.
That's right.
And if we're not at the bottom, who's going to take that place? Nobody wants to switch with us. Rightfully so. I don't blame them, because it's economic competition, and it's kind of something that we hinted towards last time when we were talking. This is a game. It's a game about power and money. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. And when you talk to people, I've spoken to people who are racist and had conversations with them. And you know what they tell me? They'll tell me, look me right in my face and say, hey, it's not personal. It's about power, and I can respect that. I think at this point in time, it's on us to switch our mindset to also look at this as it's a power game, and we need to be playing the power moves. Let me ask you this. With this police problem, what solutions do you think, if any, if possible, what would you recommend if you had power to change the policing system? What solutions would you recommend?
That is something that I would have to study, because that is a question that is coming upon me without me doing any study on what I would do.
Okay, understood. I respect that.
Right. So on another day, I will come back on your live after researching and see what should be done, because I've had enough time to actually look over it.
Is there anything Black people could do, though? Because we see these situations happen where Black people are being disrespected, being mistreated, where the excessive force is used on them by officers, white, Black, whoever. But if we're talking specifically white officers, what can we do as a community, though? Not necessarily as a solution for the problem, but as a community together. Is there anything that we could do to help, change the outcomes of these type of situations?
Well, there is one that comes to mind.
Okay.
Black people can get on code and understand our condition and understand that the dollars being pooled together makes a difference if we have one aim, one goal, and one purpose. And that would help us to purchase, I guess, towns or cities and have our own police officers, like the Native Americans have their reservations. They got their own police departments. They got their own justice departments, their own system.
Right.
So It would literally take Black people to wake up, come together with a plan, pull our resources together, and say, look, we want to buy this, we want to buy that, and move us into that. We want to control the counties where we live, the cities where we live, so we have our police officers to control. But see, there's another problem, though.
Okay, let me hear it.
Black people are not just confined to Black communities.
That's correct.
We go outside of Black communities, then we still got to deal with those wicked, evil demons.
True. This is true.
So it's going to take more than talking, more than just coming on cold, more than pooling our resources. It's going to take something that marching and talking and our resources won't do. It's going to take somebody of our own community. We got too many Black scientists, too many Black engineers who know how to create and build things. They need to build something that we would have so that we won't have to talk anymore.
Agreed. I think, and this is kind of what a friend of mine was saying, is that, you know, there is, and we talked about it before, we can't wait on reparations, right? There are things that need to be done in the meantime. Let me ask you this. I'm gonna bring the next caller up. As it relates to, this is a problem that has nothing to do with race. This has nothing to do with skin color. Okay. This is something that supersedes all of that. And I'm talking about the ego. And I'm talking about power, because we have a lot of Black people in positions of power and positions of government. We have Black people who are wealthy in this country. And you might know some Black people that might have not just wealth, but maybe status. They have a title. They have a college degree. They got something that they use to alienate themselves from other people. There's something that they use that they put themselves above other people. They got a better car. They got a bigger house. They got a better looking wife. They got a better looking husband. We find ways to separate ourselves from others, right? There's this sense of, almost, you could say, this tribalism within our community. Or if we just look at it from a status of power and title. Hey, what does your husband do? He's an electrician. Oh, what does your husband do? Well, he's a CEO of his own company. And then next, you know, we see this grouping. What I've noticed is the influence of power does not discriminate. What is your thoughts, though, as it relates to how power impacts an individual? How do you address that, right? Because we can have our own community, but then you got to put somebody in charge. But what if that person we put in charge doesn't utilize their power properly, doesn't utilize their authority properly? See, this sometimes you can create an entire community of police officers that were created for this Black neighborhood, and you still see the same problems, not because of racism, but because of the power dynamic, right? What are your thoughts on that? That's the psychosis behind that piece.
Well, it's very sad that that would even occur. Because after being in this country for so long and suffering, any Black person that would have the mindset to mistreat their own people, you know, when we're trying to get out of a condition, then that is not a Black person at all. See, that's somebody that they would put in that position for us, or somebody who's in love with them and don't realize what we're going through because they want to be white. So, they want to please massa after slavery. See, so we have to be careful who we put into office, into power to represent us. See, so we have to really follow them for a year, 6 months to a year in secret to find out what they're involved in, who they're talking to, what they're all about. Then we say, okay, we want you, we don't want him. We don't want her. We want him or her. See, so we have to monitor the people that we put in charge of us. See, this is how is going to have to work. So see, the whole thing is this. It was revolving around this video. We've seen a billion videos of us being abused by the majority of this country.
Mm-hmm.
See, the thing is, when you mention power, they saw us getting power building our own towns. They said, well, if we let them continue this, they're going to outstrip us. And we're the power here. We're not going to let our former slave have so much power in this country. So we got to knock down everything that they do. So we're going to give them their leader. If we can't knock it down, we're going to get somebody in there who will not do their best for their people. We have to be careful on who we choose as the person we put in power.
That's very true. I mean, but we see that time and time again. I could name a couple right now that are active and that are working. Sharptons and the Black Caucus, things like that. I feel like they don't have Black people's best interests at heart.
No, they don't.
Hate opposition. Yeah. So, but a lot of people, again, the problem is we're so easily blinded and misled through our emotions that we miss the bigger picture, and that's kind of even what led to that conversation with Charleston White last night, what we're reviewing, is that he's trying to show you the bigger picture, and we are missing it. Even Black people are missing it because we have somebody who looks like us, who tells us what we want to hear. And Candace Owens made this statement. I know some people have feelings about her. She was quoting Thomas Sowell. And she said, Thomas Sowell stated this, that if you love a person, you tell them the truth. If you love yourself, you tell people what they want to hear. And I thought that was such a powerful quote. And what I noticed with our people is that as long as we tell each other what we want to hear, you don't get any problems out of us. But the moment we try to, out of love, criticize out of love because we want to see each other do better, we get struck down, man, every time. And we get called names, right? Again, we were talking about this yesterday. And it's a way to deflect from the truth, deflect from the facts. And that is our biggest problem. It's easy to, I guess you would say, for whatever reason, we have gotten to a position where we can chew the lies, but we can't swallow the truth. And that has been our biggest Achilles heel. And I always say it's easier to fool a person than to tell a person they've been fooled. And that's why we have the problem that we have today. We can't correct each other.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
The brother that was speaking on that interview, the one we're talking about.
Yes.
What do you think? Do you think that he was right on it, or that he should be quiet, or that he really told us something we should hear?
I think he was telling things that we needed to hear. I think he was right on it. But I think he represents a mentality that there are some Black people who don't understand, because that mentality will require you to have to become selfless, right? In order to truly fix this problem, you have to be selfless.
You're right.
And not only that, you have to be thinking generational. You have to be thinking that I make the sacrifice today, not so I can enjoy it. It's so that my children's children can enjoy it. I have to be willing to fall on the sword today so that the person behind me can walk over my body. I have to be willing to lay myself down so that the people behind me can walk. What's happening in our community is that we all want to enjoy it right now. So if everybody wants to enjoy it, you get what I'm saying? Nobody is making the sacrifice. Nobody wants to make you have families, if you study these rich families, and you look at the money that they invested, not for them to enjoy, but for their children's children to enjoy. You have to be forward thinking. And the problem with our community, too many of us, we want to live in the now. We want everything right now. We want instant gratification for the work that we do. When you talk to millionaires, you talk to people who are successful business people, they tell you how they drove around in a Volvo for 20 years before they bought that Rolls Royce. They tell you about the money that they did. They didn't spend their money on all this expensive clothes. They're buying these expensive cars for tax purposes, not because they want to flex, right? They got to spend this money so they can keep money. See, we want, as soon as we get a little bit of money, we want to spend it. We want to look rich. We want to play rich. We want to play like we're wealthy, but not willing to put in the work and the sacrifice needed to actually obtain it. And that is the problem, is the mindset. You know, Marcus Garvey says, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. And the whole idea, this entire game is psychological warfare. That's what we're battling with. It's not that we're not capable. We are more than capable. We have the knowledge, we have the skills, we have the resources. That's how people are making money off of us. We're doing all the heavy lifting. We just don't own anything.
As usual.
Right. As usual, right. It's slavery 3.0, right? So the whole idea is that there's nothing wrong with us. It's our mind. That's the problem.
That's
mind.
right. That's right.
So, you know, again, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. And
then we can emancipate our people. See, but the problem is, as far as emancipating ourselves from mental slavery, we got to understand what the falsehoods and truths are. Because if you don't know the truth of what's really going on, how can you emancipate yourself?
You can't. You can't. Right. If you don't know the weapons formed against you, you can't prosper.
Right.
You don't know the weapons. And that's what Charleston White was pointing out. He's saying these are the weapons that are formed against Black people. Rap music, right? These idols that you're worshiping that aren't doing anything. You got 70% of the NFL players are Black, making millions of dollars a year, and not one of these clowns get together and open up a hospital, open up essential businesses, you know, and things of that nature. So again, you don't know the weapons. And he's saying, I don't like these rappers because they are pushing poison through our communities, and we're sitting there and letting them do it.
Well, but wait. What I've discovered is that when they go to these big producers, these rappers go to these big producers, some of them go with some clean rapping.
Yeah.
Clean rapping that represents goodness and wholesomeness, and you know, like Will Smith used to rap. Clean, wholesome, like what would they call it? Public Enemy. You see, they were rapping good stuff that helped us, but now the people who own the industry, they say, now we want you to play this filth.
Correct.
Because we know what we want your people to become and remain as. So we'll sign you, but we're not going to sign them. So we're going to promote this so that you can be inspired.
And whose fault?
To come up with filth.
And whose fault is that? Who's responsible for that?
Who's responsible for us coming up with filth? Now, if we write it ourselves, we are.
That's correct. Right. And so some people argue that because the record label is asking for it, that then they are to blame. But in reality it's just like the drug dealer. You might have had someone else give you the drugs, but you decided to sell it to your people, right? That was that's a mutual exchange. You're getting something for doing something. It's no one's putting a gun to your head. The exchange is money. And essentially you could say these rappers are selling their own people out, because here's the thing. I'm going to push lyrics of destruction and death and abomination. I'm going to push lyrics of death, destruction, and abomination. In exchange, you're going to pay me for it. So essentially, you sold your people out. You've been incentivized to destroy your people psychologically. And all they said was, I will help you mass produce it. I'll help you mass produce it. If you want to work for me, this is what I want. But here's the thing: the key is I don't have to work for you.
That's true.
I don't have to work for you, and
That's
that's how we get caught up, is because we want to take the easy way out instead of doing for self and building for self. And that's where, I tell people white supremacy is convenient. That's what it is. White supremacy is convenient. When you get up in the morning, you flick your light switch on, or your water's running, your toothpaste work. It's convenience. Go out there and make your own toothpaste, right? We get tired quickly, right? When they did the bus boycott and they walked them 365 days or 360 days, right? That's hard work.
right.
Freedom cost.
Yeah.
Freedom costs, right? Listen, brother. Let me bring up the next guest, man. We gotta. I want you to I want you to look into that, because I want to have a conversation. I think it'd be really great to hear your thoughts on what
should we do to end that situation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Hit me up and let's talk.
Thank you so much, brother. I really do. You're a great man, and I'm happy that I'm right here with you in Atlanta.
Yes.
Of course, I'm in DeKalb County, and I know some beautiful brothers who are police officers, some beautiful sisters who are police officers.
That's where I started.
Good white police officers who are cool in DeKalb County.
Thank you. Yes, but see, that's where I started at. And what I'll say
I know.
That's where I start. And what I'll say about DeKalb is they have some strict rules for the officers, and they held us accountable. We weren't able to do some of this foolishness I see. I'd be like, damn, I wasn't allowed to do that. So that's the problem. Every police department is different. The problem is we need to get uniformity about how consequences and actions and how officers are held accountable. It needs to be consistent. And it doesn't mean we don't give them grace. Right? It's nothing wrong with giving them grace, but at the same time, we got to call a spade a spade. When you're wrong, you're wrong. When you're wrong, you're wrong. And you need to be able to own up. You need to be able to officers need to be able to own up on it,
That's right.
And so, listen, brother, let's chop it up again. I'm gonna bring up our next caller, man. It's a pleasure again, Malik. I appreciate you, brother.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Nathan.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Man, I'm loving that, brother. Already. It's the second time up. Great conversation. I know we kind of and this is what I talk about on this channel, you guys, for whatever reason, these topics, again, I think because we talk about social issues, and you can't talk about social issues in this country without bringing up economics, without bringing up race, without bringing up poverty, because again, these are all contributing factors to the things that we see. And so it requires much dissecting. Yeah, there's a lot. Okay, Danita, here you go, my dear. I'm bringing you up. What's good? I haven't seen you in forever. How you been?
I'm getting myself off the other speaker. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Because I was on the Bluetooth. Can you hear me? Oh, wait a minute.
I can hear you.
Put my volume up
clear.
so I can hear you. I don't know what happened. I'm not hearing you.
Can't hear me?
I'm not quite sure what's going on.
You might need
let's see.
You might need headphones.
I might need headphones. Will it work? I had you on my Bluetooth speaker and I could hear you, but I didn't know if you could hear me. I'll try to put it back on and see.
Do that. Yeah. Do that.
Because before I used to have to come off of it. Okay, hold on. I was hearing you clearly.
While you're doing that, while you're doing that.
Okay, we're back. I got it.
Okay.
It's connecting.
Oh, that's perfect. Hey, you guys in the chat, for those who have questions before, this is the last caller, but before we go, if you have any questions, put a Q in front of your comment. I'll bring it up on the screen if you have any questions that you want me to address in reference to this incident, so we can be up out of here in 2 hours. We're at an hour and 49 minutes. I feel good. Good night. It sounds good. All right, my dear. Tell me what's going on. What's your thoughts on this incident here?
Can you hear me? No, I don't know what the problem is because I put the Bluetooth back on. It might be something else. Maybe I need to go out and come back in.
Yeah. All right. Let's do that. Let's try that.
Yeah, I'll go out and try to come back in. I'll stream y'all back in. Drop the link again for me. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right. You guys, if you have any questions before we end, if a moderator could drop the link again, if you still have it, so that she can try to come back up. Any questions in reference to this? If you guys have any questions, I know someone said something about qualified immunity. If you have a question in reference to that, qualified immunity will not save her. Qualified immunity will not save her, you guys. Why will qualified immunity not save her? Is because she violated clearly established law, meaning she knows she can't do that. It's well taught, it's been well explained that if a person is not resisting arrest, they're not physically assaulting you while in handcuffs. First of all, you can't assault anybody in handcuffs unless they are an active threat to you. Unless they are an active threat, and he wasn't an active threat. We saw the video. So how many years homegirl gonna get for that civil rights violation? 0. She'll probably get 0 years, you guys. She'll probably get 0 years. Best case scenario, because and here's the thing, it's hard to say because maybe she was acting under the color of law, how this entire interaction started. Meaning she had a legitimate reason to investigate. She had a legitimate reason to detain. But then in the process of doing a legally justified act, she did an unlawful action, which is the excessive force. Worst case scenario, I won't say worse, but the scenario is going to end up, she's going to get fired, 1. She won't be criminally prosecuted, 2. 3, she will be sued. And that's it. That's it. Now, come to find out that she was unlawful, she had no probable cause, no legitimate reason to do what she did, she could face criminal charges, absolutely. Because then now you have unlawfully detained me. You've unlawfully restricted my Fourth Amendment rights. And now we're looking at a federal charge. No, I missed it. What was your question? Send it to me again. All the response to the question. Yeah, I did. I didn't read it out loud though. I'm gonna ship a sticker. Marjorie Lemons. Thank you, Marjorie. Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that super sticker. I did see your comment. I'm over trying to scroll back up for it now. And let me see, where was it? Okay, yeah, he said he expressed his frustration with the treatment of all people who are deemed out of place by police officers. He was really worried about my son being a target because of his skin color. Yeah, there's a lot. It's always interesting having conversations about race with different race of people because we all look at things differently. And I say we want to create in this space here, I always want to create a healthy space for all groups to come up and express how they feel. Because a lot of people don't understand. I talk to white people, Asian, Hispanic, and they'll tell me how they feel when people call them, insult them and say certain things. They're like, man, that's not even on my heart. You talk to white people like, that's not even on my heart. I'm not even like that. But people will judge me just because of my skin color. White people are getting the bad end of the stick too when these accusations come across. It's not a good feeling, you guys. And so I always tell people, just be slow to react, right? Be slow to react. Take your time and really listen to what's going on and see what's going on, or get the full story before we start accusing people of things or labeling people as things. And the reason why I say that is because we don't like it done to us. We don't like it done to us, period. Who looks more hideous? The Tennessee chick, this whole department, or it? Man, who did the whole department? Nah, Shorty who did the whole department. Yo, she was Oof, she was getting ran through. That was crazy. Facts. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, if you ever want to come up, I know how it is sometimes with the departments, but if you ever want to come up and share some stories, you're always welcome. Always welcome. I always like to hear, especially I want to interview a female officer as well. I think being able to hear that perspective and what it's like so that the audience can hear. Oftentimes we're always talking about male officers and things like that. But we never get a chance to hear it from a female's perspective. I've told people on this channel that I was actually trained by 2 female officers who were badass, and they were like well respected in my department, and I modeled a lot of my tactics off of their training. And so there's some women officers that are better than these male officers out here. I be saying it. Y'all act like someone asked me, I think, like, should women be in the police force? I'm like, yeah. My thing is, if you can do the job, you can do the job. I know men who don't need to be in this profession. So again, if you could do it, then absolutely. You know what I mean? I don't discriminate on that. I know some really phenomenal female officers who I'm like, nah, I want her backing me up, period. So anyways, where'd my guest go? She ain't coming up. We dropped the link for her. No, we're gonna shut it down. We're at our 2-hour mark. Listen, you guys, great conversation. I know this was tough to watch. Sad. I will keep, I'll follow up with this because as more information comes out, it's going to be worth another live stream once we get all of the details of this case and how it started, how we got here, what all happened. I don't know if she has a body cam or not. I didn't really tell, but maybe she has a dash cam. I'm pretty sure the girlfriend was recording way before this. She had to have. This might be the only piece that the media wanted to put out for whatever reason. So anyways, let me know your thoughts, you guys, those who are catching this probably on the replay. Comments in the comment section. How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Topics you want me to cover or cases that are out that you would like to get my thoughts on? Yeah, just let me know. Put a message in the comment section. And thank you for the guests that came up. Malik, I appreciate you. Thank you for those who donated tonight. I appreciate that as well. And so our back-to-back live stream, we haven't did one of those in a while. So it's easier for me to do live streams. I'm probably going to start doing them more often, but I like them because I get a chance to interact with you guys directly. I know you're a former deputy sheriff. Come on, you should hit me up so you can come do this interview, Wani. Come on, Wani. Come on, hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on Instagram. And let's have a conversation. Yeah. Let people hear your thoughts. And you get a chance to tell them whether or not I'm full of shit. Like, is he saying legit stuff, or it's be awesome to get a woman's perspective. It's awesome. Be awesome to get a woman's perspective, especially a Black woman. And I'm not sure if you worked, what communities you worked in or whatever, but I would love to get your thoughts and share your experience. As well, how long you were in the profession. So, people be tripping, but I'll be like, man, we see so much. Like, people don't understand. Like, we're legitimate. We're servants of the community, and we see a lot. We see a lot. We should do a panel of Black female officers. Let's do it. Help me out. I love it. I think that's a great idea. Let's put it together. Send me a message on Instagram. DM me on Instagram at realnathandaley. I think that'd be dope, and we'll put together some questions and everything like that, and we'll do like a live. That'll be pretty dope. Yeah, hit me up. Because Dre was helping me with that too. Actually, me and Dre were talking about that. She said I got no social media but YouTube. Okay, email me then. Email me at risebluephoenix. Yeah. You got it? You got the email? Yeah, email me and let's put it together. All right, okay, we got 2 sisters. We got 2 sisters already. And then I got some from DeKalb too. I can bring. Oh, you from New Orleans? Oh, yeah. New Orleans is a different beast too. We know a bunch of them, and we love to talk. All right, we not got no problem. I said that'll be so dope. I said let's do it. Women in law enforcement. Oh, that'd be a great conversation. That'd be a great conversation. All right, I like it. All right, let's do it, y'all. I'm down. I think that'll be dope. And what we could do is we could bring up a series of different topics, maybe current event issues, and then get everybody's perspective on it. And that one infamous question: should women be police officers? That's probably going to be the key, because that's what everybody likes. People like to have that conversation. I'm always advocating for y'all. I love having y'all on the team, and so I don't think there's anything wrong with it. So, anyways, we're at our 2-hour mark, you guys. Thank you so much for everything. I appreciate you. We the chat throwing out some great ideas. I think it's going to be awesome. Looking forward to it. Put your comments in the comment section of the video. Let me know your thoughts, how you feel. Should this lady, what should her punishment be? I think we all are like, what should her punishment be? This woman right here looking like, yeesh, looking like it. She looking like it. Okay. Shit, I'd have cried too. Telling me to bend over and did I have enough? Am I taking it good? Jesus Christ. She went straight dominatrix on us. Unfortunately, you guys, those who don't know, man, she not gonna do no time for that. She'll lose her job, but that's about it. Ooh, got a face only a mother can love. Bless her heart. Anyways, you guys, like, comment, share, subscribe. And with that, let these truths find you where the lies have left you. Good night. God bless.